I'm CNJ, and welcome to CNJ Jamaica. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to join me this and every weekday at 6 p.m. for Let We Talk. Today is a very special day, or all Thursdays are special days, because on Thursdays I'm joined by a very special individual, and that is Scotty. So let me bring him in at this time, but before I do so, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Especially if you're new to my channel, remember we are here to inform, encourage, and entertain. So here we are. It's Thursday, and on Thursday it is CNJ and
Scotty.
he wasn't ready for me. He wasn't ready for me. All right, so Scotty, what are we going to be talking about today?
All right. We're going to talk about the importance of having the fathers in the home.
Right,
Very
right.
important.
Yes. Very, very important. What do you remember, or what would be your personal experience of a good father? What is your definition of a good father?
Uh, well, I like how you put it. That you ask what are the definition of a good father and not a perfect father.
Mm,
Because as you know, no one is perfect.
that's right.
But um, a good father is someone who tries their best to provide for their children,
Mm-hmm.
or let me just say overall for the household,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
provide security,
Mm-hmm.
nurture,
Mm-hmm.
nurture not only in terms of food, providing food, but providing an environment where the child feels belong.
Yeah. I
Um,
feel like they belong.
so
Yes.
those are simple examples of a good father, because there are some fathers who are poor in pocket but rich in
Mm-hmm.
spirit,
I have a
right?
little thing
Um,
here. I don't know. Are you seeing it? You see what the young man was saying? He said, Dad, you know that I like Batman and Superman is cool, but I don't really need them as long as I have you. Wow.
because that is just saying, simple saying that indeed you are my real life superhero,
And every
and
boy wants that. And every girl wants that.
and that is what is missing from the home. And let me just highlight something too, as well, that when we say missing from the home, sometimes the person is there physically as well. The man is there, but the father is not there. A man is different from a father, right? What is that you might ask me, what am I talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it is said that any man, any man can have a child, but only I don't want to say few, but only a few. Then let me say only a few at the part of the father,
So
because
anybody
everybody can be.
can anybody can give sperm and have children, but not all
Yes.
of them can actually take on that father role that children
So
need.
all of us, I will be careful, All of us can take on that role, but few choose to do so. Why?
Okay.
Because
Okay.
why? Because it's a lot of hard work. I always say to my students, I'm laughing because someone can watch the video, can say a true matter. I always tell my students that you are an investment, and you are a business teacher to Miss Johnson. You understand what I mean by
Yeah.
when I use that term.
An
You are an
investment,
investment,
yes.
and you can be a liability or you can be an asset. And what I
Yes.
mean by that, what you put in a child in its early stage coming up, when you are now old and you're becoming a child yourself, that investment will take, either it is a liability, meaning that the child turn crop can help you,
Mm-hmm.
can help buy a medication and things
Mm-hmm.
like that, or the child was invested in properly and the child
Mm-hmm.
is able now to give you that return.
But
because
wouldn't you
you
say
can
that there are
say
some children who their the father just went in and put a lot of investment in there, but at the end of the day, no returns on their investment? Yeah, that is true. And then you have some fathers who didn't invest anything at all, and they get returns. So what you say to those
because
fathers?
because as you know, everything don't fit. All we don't have one shoes.
Yeah,
There are size 8, size 10. So different situation will result in different um um um
results.
outcomes.
Yes.
Outcomes. Yeah. So variable we call them variables, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not constant, it's not fixed. So might be a child growing up without a father. At the end of it, when the father is old, that child will say, I'm a Christian, I must learn to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the child will forgive him and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some that will say as well that you did not help me, so therefore
Yes.
you're on your own.
Yes. Yes.
That different variables will take part in terms of, do they have a strong Christian foundation? Are they willing to forgive? All of these will take part. But it does not mean, it does not take away from the point in which fathers should, no matter what. And no matter of fact, I can tell you something too, it can go opposite too. There are some good fathers who do all they can and the child become unappreciative and leave the father to suffer.
Yes.
It
Yes.
can go both ways. But as a man, I'm gonna go straight to my favorite book, the Bible. It is one of my favorite persons. May God bless his soul. Dr. Miles Monroe. He said that when God created Eden, right?
Mm.
The first thing he did was to give man work. It
Yeah.
was Adam's duty to
So you had
watch
dominion over
over.
it. Yeah.
Yes, man. It was Adam's duty to make sure that everything was organized, arranged, right? And then when he was lonely, God sent, in his case, a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So he's saying that based on those steps, a man is supposed to be have a strong foundation, having a job, having that financial security
Mm-hmm.
before you can call in somebody in your own space. Because when you call in that person in your space, it's an additional responsibility, Miss Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying to you?
Yes, yes,
Additional
yes. So
responsibility.
you're saying a lot of
It's
men can't be good fathers because they weren't ready for it, financially
yeah,
and
thank you.
emotionally. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So it is just like we want to have somebody in our midst. But before we can actually satisfy the loneliness, we have to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that something is in place for us to feel. Because you have what Sigmund Freud called the ego. Man have we call ego. Two things. If a man is unable, I'm gonna talk about different. We have different from a man. Name is Johnson. We have different from a
Yeah.
man. We have different from a man. You
Yeah.
have man, mannequin, manure, all different kinds.
Oh my God. There are
Yes,
some
man, that's
mannequins
true.
out there doing nothing but just standing.
You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
have manual all in the got the place, not the place. Right? So we have what I'm trying to say, we have men from different era. Because the men who were before us, they normally stand for their responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
They normally they don't run from challenges. That's the one before us. But now we're living in a culture where once you have 12 their mother, 13 children, it does not matter. You have spread the seed, you have spread the seed all about it, no matter. So therefore we don't hold them accountable to have a child, but we don't hold the men accountable to be responsible for the children.
Yeah. Like those men that look up to them and say, yes, man, a real man that. And then,
Yes,
yes, yes. The
and
man who is with one
therefore,
woman and taking care of his one child or two, they say, no, so you're idiot. Or you have one
yeah,
burner, they with one woman and all
yeah,
them things.
but you know what is going on, Miss Johnson. You come like you know what is going on. You know, far fetched. And what happened is that, and to add to it now, Miss Johnson, because we're looking at different problems, and I'm going to give you some solutions. What
Mm-hmm.
happened to what happened to sometimes what caused this thing? Two things I believe have a great impact, and the father's not playing a strong role in the home. I believe it has to do with slavery. That's one. So
Okay.
our mind was mentally conditioned. And two, it has to do with our women. So let me talk about the slavery first. What has to do with slavery? You might ask. Slavery, we are conditioned. As an IT teacher, I can use the term program to respond certain way. Look at a black man to his son versus a white man to his son. Look at the difference between how a black man relate to a black boy who is his son, relate versus a white man relating
What's
to
the
his
difference?
child. One openly display affection.
Like he'll kiss him and so, kiss and hug him.
Yes,
A lot of
man.
black fathers not doing
Hug
that,
him, hug
especially
him
when they
up,
reach a certain age.
say I love you and things like that openly. But in our culture, we deem that to be unorthodox in itself. We deem it to be where we are. Them man a soldier then. The boy not turn soldier. A soldier when I want to
Yeah,
sissy
you must rough,
or
rough
or,
with him.
or,
You must rough.
or
Make him learn
rough,
how to be
rough,
rough. Hmm.
rough. And therefore, what happens is that white males will be able to share if something is wrong with them emotionally. So you do something that they don't like, they will tell you that I don't like this and that. While a black man now will find some avenue to take out that range or that emotion, which should not be talked about. So they start the fighting, they start the smoking, they start the smoking of the weed.
But what about some of our
Because
listeners might say we're generalizing because you have white fathers who may be like that, and you have black fathers who maybe they are able to relate to their sons. So what you say about to the
yes,
person who
but
say we're
but
generalizing?
yes, but I'm saying, as I said before, you have different variables. So it's not everybody. It is not going for everybody. I agree. It does not go for everybody. But if you look at let us look at the masses, and I'm going to put it specifically
Yeah.
to to uh to our Jamaican culture. I wanna specify to Jamaican. I met two young men. One is at Mark Day High School as well, who said to me that his father shared with him that he loved him and hugged him, and he did not feel in a way. His
Because that's
father
his father. That's his father.
his
He loves
father
his father. Right.
they displayed hugging and so forth, no matter where they went.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He was closer to his father than even his mother. Miss Johnson, tell the truth. How often can we get, how
Yeah.
often do we hear news such as that? I am not saying it does not happen, but
Yeah.
we are looking at the majority versus the
The minority.
minority.
And it's true, even when you tell that story, if you say it to a group of boys, you'll hear them saying, no, sir, my father can't hug me in a public, or no, sir, me don't want him hug me there, sir.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I'm not talking about a 5-year-old, I'm talking about a teenager. And the
Yeah.
teenage age is where you peer pressure, oh, your father rated you and so forth. And you have a next one who told me the same thing. Even at college, his father came and show him those love and things like that. And if you look, there's no study, let me put a disclaimer, there's no study done by me. I don't read any study. But if I should do a study, Miss Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
and look at those two males who have those who's getting those emotions
Mm-hmm.
from their father. If we should do a study and look at them, look at their emotional health, we I can guarantee that they are healthy than the others. What I mean by that, because first, my break it down. We we have two type of health. We have the physical one and the mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And I add one, emotional health. If you're feeling sad, you're reluctant to put in the work in something, and you're not at your best because something is bothering you. So we look on cancer, we look on sugar, we look on these things, but Jamaica, we don't look at our in mental health or emotional health, how are we feeling.
Yeah.
We're at our work, we're at our workplace, and we're making the money, we're making a lot of money, but the environment is toxic. So they make the millions, so $500,000 I go to the doctor to try to get some pill to calm me down mentally
Yeah.
and things like that. So
Yeah.
I'm talking about that aspect of it in terms of are our youth able, because if you look at it now, if you look at it, um all of our youth want somebody. That's why they end up talking to their friends and whatever. They want somebody to talk to them. All of them have, all human beings for the same, whether male or female, are functioning emotional beings.
Yeah.
That if your emotions are not in check, if
Yeah.
it is not, um, if it is not, if it is, what we call it now, if it is in danger, the person can lead to be a destructive person. And that's why I have sometimes at school, as teachers at school, we have some students who we are able to talk to versus some teachers are unable to talk to that student. Why is that so? Because you can relate to what they are feeling.
They normally say that
And
there are so many females in the schools that sometimes the boys they have no outlet, nobody to talk to because there are so many females in the teaching profession. What you say about that with the whole father figure? So the fathers are absent from the homes, and then the fathers are absent. The father figure is absent at school, and school is where they're at most of the time.
well, to be honest, at school, I think that the male will have the edge with the boys, but it does not take away that some females can bridge that gap in terms of talking to the child. So, all right, persons want people are attached to persons who they can relate to.
Yes.
And in our day life, we call it, in politics and so forth, we call it somebody who is charismatic, who has
Mm-hmm.
charisma. And
Mm-hmm.
it's the same thing when a child looks at a teacher as somebody who is semicolon godly, are
Mm-hmm.
are 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 perfect, and therefore they don't make this mistake. So I'm able to talk to them because they don't make mistakes. But when you share with your a student to say that when I was your age, I went through this, and the mother say, "So really, you go through that?" And
Mm-hmm.
then they're able to say that, say, just cut out somebody we can understand and talk to. And the same thing with the females, you Miss Johnson. It is how we relate to them. We can't
Yeah.
take away. As a male teacher, let me just add it quite frankly, that we cannot replace a father.
No, you can't. Right.
As a male, we can't replace our father, but however, there is certain gap that we can fill. And just like how there's a certain gap we can fill as a male teacher, there's
Yeah.
also a certain gap that the female teacher
Mm-hmm.
can fill as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this thing we're talking about the males, yes, the males can relate to the boys morely in terms of football, playing the football, talking about the girls and things like that. Regarding that, fine. But the,
Mm-hmm.
but, but the number one thing in identifying bridging the gap in terms of what you have in common that I have in common. Because when I'm teaching, I try to teach based on the students' experience. So if I know they love apple, we use apple. And the same thing, if you see a child being by themselves, not talking, not sharing with each other and things like that, but I realize they love drawing. You go sit down beside the man in a bit to you and like, they start draw. But sir, we
Mm-hmm.
never say could I draw. They will engage you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You think that is what is missing right now during COVID? You know, we know we're talking about fathers, but as you're bringing the teachers and the teachers, how they affect the students with the whole COVID and them being at home and being able only to talk to the teacher through devices such as these and so on. That element of you being able to relate to them is kind of missing. I see you shaking your
And
head,
it
so you're
goes,
agreeing.
yes, I agree. It goes both ways. It goes both ways because the next thing too is that we have persons. It have to do with the personality. You have teachers who come to the classroom and they will teach you content and that's it. You have teachers who go to the classroom and try to teach you content and also build up a bond with the
Yes.
students.
Mm-hmm.
To build that relationship between teacher student, you have to have that balance or, support. So if you're a teacher like that, it will affect not only the student but you kind of reaching out to your student,
Okay.
right? So that has to do with the whole slavery I was saying to you about our we being conditioned. Sometimes as slaves we were considered to be property, and therefore we were taken away from the family
Mm-hmm.
to be and sell somewhere else on a different estate, and therefore the wife and the child had to do without the father because he was sold. Also, children were actually taken away from the home as well, and things like that. So it was psychological at the time
Mm-hmm.
during slavery. It was something that was an everyday thing. Father being missing from the home because of the slave master. That is how slavery affect us. The father
So
being
you
taken
think
away
that
from the
even
home.
after all of these years, you're saying that is still affecting us now?
Uh, I believe that it contributes. I would not
Okay.
say that it is affecting us. I believe that it contributes. I'm talking about aspect of it where the fathers,
Yeah.
we can lead to us being here now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm saying that slavery can be a part of it. The next point of it is what I want to mention is women, including you, Miss Johnson. How is that so? Because during World War I,
The
when
men
the
went away to war.
fathers went to war, it was the females now have to be at home, preparing the food,
Mm-hmm.
doing the garden, and
Mm-hmm.
fending for the child. So therefore, they
Mm-hmm.
got some amount of independence. That's what it's like to not have the man around to knock the nail and fix the fence
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
that is when you guys start to say that we want to be independent. We're independent ladies, and you want to have your own work. So instead of spending at providing a home, only a home, and food and clothing for the house, you guys wanted to go out there and make sure that you had extra money and things like that. So in doing that, in doing that, when the male came back home, because you are providing now, when came back home from war, I'm talking, because they're not working as soldiers anymore. They are
Mm-hmm.
back and able to get jobs, and you are providing from them. It affects the ego for the men because they are saying that it is my responsibility
Yeah,
to
as a head of
provide, but
house.
no, you are doing so. And
Mm.
therefore, some females now say that something happened, an argument might happen or something like that, for instance, and when they can't work it out now because the man is the breadwinner. You can say, no, man, I'll not take this, James. James, I will not take this. Leave my house. And therefore, separation. The father is no more
So hold
in the
on.
home.
Let me see if I get the point you're making. You're saying that in the past, during slavery, the men were sold one place, the mother and children sold somewhere else. So we have a history of separation. Then you're saying it
Yes.
continued into World War One, where men went to fight and the women had to fend for their family. So women got a sense of independence. So you're relating that to our modern day now, saying that women not going to stand for foolishness when the man doing certain things. In the past, they would have to stay there and suffer underneath it because the man was
No, no,
the
no, 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 no,
breadwinner.
no, no, no,
The
no, 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 no. Don't just stay there and suffer. Look here. Look
man,
what I'm
uh-huh.
saying. If if you are following the principle of the Bible, which I hope you are following, Miss Johnson, it is
Yes.
said that it is said that the men or the
Mm.
man should be the head of the household. I want to say head of the household. I don't mean that left, right, Miss Johnson, left, right, and you have left, right, left, right, left, right. It means that you are decision making element of the home. You and the wife discuss it, and whatever you believe is best. You work with it as a husband and wife. The
Mm-hmm.
husband is the head of the household. But because you are independent now, you're not coming in the room all your things. When me say goes, I am the one getting the more money. I am the one, I am Dr. Johnson, and you are the security guard. So therefore, what I say goes. So these are the things psychologically that break down the men in leaving times because they want to have a peace of mind. I will see happen all the
Are you
while.
blaming the women for their independence and it causing the breakdown of the home where fathers are not in the home? That's not what you're saying.
Look, I am not blaming Miss Johnson. I am just saying
Mm-hmm.
that the independence or the so-called independence, I call it so-called, I won't say the why. The so-called independence
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
of the female
Mm-hmm.
contributes greatly
Mm-hmm.
towards males leaving the house.
All right, so that is one
Why? Because
contribution. Tell me another one. Tell me another contribution. What else has contributing to the our fatherless, so many fatherless homes in Jamaica?
and so we talk about slavery, we talk about women role in the house, woman
Mm-hmm.
taking on the man's role, and therefore the
Mm-hmm.
man feeling not important to be a part of the home anymore because of
Mm-hmm.
ego. And
Mm-hmm.
the last one that I can recall out of my brain now, that I can think of, is the one that is affecting Jamaica greatly, and it's violence.
Okay.
It is violence,
Mm.
violence, and the evolution of social ethics in terms of when a man cannot provide some basic thing for his home. What's a violence? We talk about violence. Violence mean that most of the males are in prison. Most of the males are being killed. So therefore, the home is lacking because of the death of
Yeah,
a
they're
male or
absent.
stuff.
Yes, yes.
Very,
So
very, very,
they're
very
absent
simple and
because some of
straightforward.
them had to go and they did illegal things to provide for their families. Uh, and this is not only at the grassroots level, it's all levels because we have people stealing and doing things at every level of our society and they get locked up for it when they're caught. And you're saying that also the violence in that some men are killed because they are in the wrong place at the wrong time. And you have some other
Mhm.
men who they are murdered for different things. Maybe they were involved in something they shouldn't be involved in. You have men where the problem continues because the fathers of yesterday didn't do what they're supposed to do. So a lot of boys grew up without fathers, so they don't know what it is like. Some of them, because they didn't grow up without fathers, they became beautiful fathers, but you have so many more who, because they did not have the example for themselves, they themselves are just doing what they knew. Go and impregnate the girl and then just leave her because a woman to take care of them children.
That's so true. And the last one is the social ills that we embrace as a society. As I was saying, first time the men when a man cannot provide for his home, he would feel embarrassed. He would go to the bush, would burn some coal. He would do
Yeah.
anything to try to make sure his family is important. Now
Hmm.
we are not embracing values such as those. If we can't provide for so what one can make a quote. First time as a man raise you got quote because you don't have to take your family, you feel embarrassed. No, it's
Yeah.
like a celebrity thing. It's like a celebrity it's like a celebrity thing. And instead of values of, in terms of embracing values such as morals and norms and so forth, and teaching the child to be responsible, teaching the child to stick to your word. If you promise somebody something, make sure that you make sure that you oblige and make sure that it occurs. We are instead promoting brick palm brick, that is more money palm more money. We are promoting a lot of women, man fi have girl and girl in a bungle, girl from man girl from the jungle, according to being a man. Things like those. Our value system has changed over time, and
Yeah.
we're embracing the American. I don't want to much say it's America fault, but we are looking at television shows and seeing the American lifestyle, and we are
Yeah.
adopting it. So therefore, our Jamaican Sunday dinner we normally concern as a family and our Christmas dinner, we all of us cook one place and we come out, come support each other. All of those are changing now. Where
Yeah.
person are going to KFC, from Christmas Day or something like that. So so all of this contribute um to our fathers being absent from home. So what I did, I don't want to end the show, Miss Johnson, with just
Yeah,
talking about the
negative.
negative.
Yeah.
I want to also give some tips. I want to give some tips. But before I do so, I'd like to embrace some fathers. You have some good fathers out there, and they try their best to do what they can do for
Yeah.
their children. And sometimes education goes a far way. Sometimes we have some parents who not doing the right thing, but they are doing the wrong thing, thinking that is the right thing. I
Yeah.
don't want to get to them
And
because
yeah,
they
yeah.
were not. There's no manual to say that when you have a child, this is the way that you should do it, starting from there and there. So when you go to college, like how we went to school and learn about certain philosophy or certain um theories to talk about the development of a child and things like that. We ourselves know, but other person out there, they're just trying their best to make sure that they are growing the child properly. So we see when a child wants lunch money, the lunch costs $200, but they are giving the child $5,000,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
They're
they're
setting them up
saying
for
that
unrealistic expectations because if a child is in basic school and primary school, you're giving them $1,000 a day. And then when they reach primary school, you can't be expected to still give them the 1,000. But then your pocket can't reach it because you were giving them fees, money that they weren't supposed to get at that young age. And then when they get to 16 and say they want a car, you yourself can't afford a new one, but your child is going to grow up expecting these
yes,
things because you started to give them unrealistic expectations from early. You are developing it, and when they reach a stage where they start demanding certain things, you're saying, "Well, I want going with a pitney." But the thing is that they don't
yes,
realize that they're the ones who actually
they were
cultivated and
conditioned.
nurtured that behavior.
That is so right. That is so right. And then per se, because we know better Miss John, so we can look on it and support. But we have to look at the person themselves who's doing so. Are they educated enough to know that this hurting the child? There are some
Mm,
parents that the child is never wrong. The child is never wrong. Whatever the child
yeah,
is said to them is gospel. So
yeah,
it is just because I trust my child. I'm not saying you
mm,
must trust your child now, but you should be in a way where you can pick up sense from nonsense
yeah, yeah.
and things like that. When I was growing up, I had a father that if I was at Marat Bay High School, as a student, and he was in Montego Bay, if I told him something and something in it don't add up, he would leave from
Hmm.
Montego Bay to go. So he would go to Saint Thomas to find out. So because I know it's a father I have, I could not tell any lie. I'm frightened to tell lie. I was afraid to tell
Yeah,
any lie. So I grew up like this now, just talking the truth. Whether are good, I
yeah,
just talk the truth.
yeah, yeah,
That is what the lesson I learned. And
yeah,
he's not a perfect father, as I said to you before, but there
yeah.
are certain values. There are certain
Hmm.
values that he instilled in me that I appreciate.
Right, right.
So he did not give me any car, he did not give me any brick palm brick or anything like that, but I have certain values that I believe that he has imprinted on me, and for that I
Right.
am forever
And a lot
grateful
of
for
times
that.
it's when the adult become older that they appreciate some of these things that their fathers would have done when they're older. But when you're going through the teaching process, sometimes it's not so nice. So you say you have some good points to end on about fathers in Jamaica?
So be there for your child, for your
Mm-hmm.
children. Model the right behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Be patient with them. Be a role model. Earn the right to be heard. Be your child's teacher. Read to your child. Respect the other parent of the said child.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to end with two popular, I close off with two popular ones that I want, if you don't remember anything, I want you to remember this. Discipline with love.
Mm-hmm.
Discipline with love and positive parenting. Sometimes we're upset and we give them some lick.
Mm-hmm.
And so it will not change if we don't. have a conversation to say why you're disciplining the child for this. The child must know why he's getting punished. Just
Mhm.
like us, as us teachers have to tell the child why you got that wrong, so that
Yeah.
they can work and not get it wrong again. As parents,
Yeah.
we should look at the errors of the child and point out to the child.
Yeah.
I can say about my father. That is one of the values I learned from my father. But
Yeah.
each time he did not. At the time we were not living together. So each time he would come and my mother called him and say, "Come here, come deal with him now, come deal with him." And he came and he dealt with me. Give
Mm-hmm.
me some lick. Give me some
Yeah.
lick. He would not leave until he explained to me why he did what he did and bought me an ice cream. So we always leave on a good note, and that is something that discipline with love and
Mm-hmm.
positive parent. The next
Mm-hmm.
one now, which is simple but it's very important. The last one, eat dinner or eat with your child. Have this convers because when you're eating dinner, all kind of conversation. Let me go again. Eat together as a family. That is it. Eat together as a family. That is where all the issues can be ironed out. James, what did you do at school today? That said this and this and that, and that is how it happened. Even if you're the mother, not in good space or whatever, make sure a one can compromise and come together and eat so that a child can see mommy and daddy, brother and sister around the table eating. Not only at Christmas dinner, not only at Thanksgiving, although we don't celebrate Thanksgiving, at birthdays and so forth, but it can be an avenue for different family member can share and relate to to the child.
I
In
remember
Africa,
if it can happen for every meal, at least one meal for the day, and let it be consistent. But for the parents who they're not living together, I went to a restaurant the other day and I saw a father with his daughter. It was just the two of them. And I said to the person I was with, I don't think that guy lives with the mother. So he's ensuring that he's having a meal, letting his daughter feel special by taking her to a restaurant so that she will know that daddy loves you and we can have a conversation. And I think that is what is needed by fathers who may not be in the home. They need to spend special time celebrating each child, taking them out, and it doesn't have to be anywhere expensive. Taking them out, even if you don't go down at the sea, go watch the waves. But let them feel special and know that you have dedicated this time out of your day, out of your week, to talk to me, to see me. And then if the child is even resistant at first, if it becomes something that you do consistently over time, they will look forward to it. Because what happens a lot of times, fathers give up when they try at first and them to say, but the topic you know want me to do this, so me I got to stop. But the child is waiting to see if you're going to be consistent with it. So the thing is that Scotty and I, we are no expert in the field, but we observe human behavior and we deal with young people every day, hundreds of them every day. And over the a number of years that we have been in the profession, uh, we have seen it all. No, I'm not going to say we have seen it all, but we have seen a lot. A lot. And sometimes, as the outsider of people's situation, you're able to see clearly what they're doing wrong, but they can't see it for themselves. And that's the benefit of being
and,
outside.
and most importantly, Ms. Johnson, to add to what you just said, most importantly, it affects the academic performance or whatever the child is good at. It
Yeah,
affects them
yeah,
because they are mentally unwell
yes,
because they are focusing on what they don't have. And and, and,
yes,
and it goes back to say that sometimes when it is parents teacher there and some parents are coming to represent the child and your parents is unable to come because of work or whatever, it
yeah,
does something to that child.
yeah,
So it is just something that it's just something that we as a society
hmm,
we just talk about it a certain time. We don't talk about how to be a proper parent and this and that, but we do not look at the number. You know what? The number one thing they were saying to me that in the Ministry of Education or wherever, we a lot of adults make decisions based decisions that affect the child and the child not in the room. Somebody said that to me. And it's very very popular. It is very very true. as principal, vice principal, and teachers, we are making decision and it's affecting the child, and there's no child in the room in terms of the policy making at the government level. But
The thing is that
we
parents
are
and principals and so on, we always say we're operating in the interest of the child. But a lot of
yes,
times we don't consult with the child to find out what it is that they want because we believe that we know more than them because we have been children and we know where they're going.
yes,
But the same way the father needs to consult, needs to talk with the children, other stakeholders,
mhm.
other stakeholders involved in the welfare of the child need to constantly be in conversation with the children that we are saying that we're taking care of. It has been a good
And
conversation, Scotty. And what are your final words on this topic?
all right, so I just want to end with what you just said a while ago about us making decisions as adults. We have to also ensure that we are off way with what is happening in the 21st century. When we see the text message saying LOL and the MT and those things, we are experienced, even though we can't say why me how of the time yet. We are supposed to be aware
Yes,
and informed about
yes.
modern things, and because first time it was say a child must be
Seen and
seen
not
and not
heard.
heard,
Mm-hmm.
seen and not heard. But now we're saying that the child must have a voice respectfully. They must respectfully voice their concern. That is where we are now, and that is where I am in full support of. Every child must learn, but also every child must be heard as well.
All right. I'm happy that you had this topic each week. You bring me a new topic, and this was a good one because there are too many children out there that are suffering because they don't have that father in the home. Right now, there are many children who are supposed to be in online school, and they are not there because there's no supervision at home. Mothers have been doing tireless work. But the thing is that it takes a partnership, it takes a village, they say, to raise a child. And we have too many children right now not being raised by that village. Sometimes the village is tired because they hear so many negative things that they don't know how to assist the child. But as Jamaicans, as people of the world, each Thursday we come with a new topic, and today we're just looking on how can we get more children to have that relationship with fathers. So for fathers, if you're not in the home, spend that time with your child. Spend it with them individually. Get to know them. Get to understand what they're all about because they are the future. They're the ones who will be running this country in a couple of years' time. All right. So we have to take care of them because we want them to take care of us. Scotty said they're an investment in the future. What are we investing in them right now so that we'll be able to reap the rewards in the future? So thank you for being with us, CNJ and Scotty, on this.
Hold on,
Let
hold
me
hold on,
talk.
hold on, hold on, Miss Johnson. Hold on, Miss Johnson. I want to, before you close, I want to add another element. I'm going to
Okay.
ask you, I want to ask you a riddle, and I want the person listening, if you know the answer, to also make a comment. And next week, when we come back, Miss Johnson, you will tell me what you think is the answer for this riddle, or proverb, I must say.
So we're going to
What?
ask you for next week to complete this
So,
Jamaican saying. And every week, dash
yes.
go well, it the bottom drop out. Second?
No man, not that one there. That one that different one from the one me give you a while ago. I bucket that, and every time bucket go well. The
Okay,
bottom,
so
and
this
every
is
day,
our. And every
so
day.
this one more, and every time, so every time, and every time dash dropping a well is rotten.
And every time dash dropping a well, it rotten. Oh.
Yes,
So, all
yes,
right.
yes.
So for next week, we want persons to fill in the dash. And every time dash go well, the bottom rotten. All right. Me confused. All right. So see you next time, guys. And remember, each Sunday at 1 p.m., I have my feature presentation on this channel. So every Sunday at 1 p.m., feature presentation on CNJ Jamaica. But other than Sundays, join me this and every weekday at 6 p.m. for Let We Talk. And on Thursdays, it's a special one with Scotty. All right, he's showing the six. So see you next time. And that is it for today. See you tomorrow.